In this video, I'm going to explain what is a decimal. A decimal number is a number that contains a decimal point and represents whole numbers and parts of whole numbers. So a decimal would look like 1.2 or 2.38 or something such as 0.145 and so on. So a decimal number contains a decimal point. But where do those numbers after the point come from? Well, the easiest way to look at this is on the number line. Here we have our basic number line. Not only are there whole numbers, like 0 and 1, but there are numbers in between this 0 and 1. So let's zoom in on that. These numbers between 0 and 1 can be broken up even more. So let's say we break them up into tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the 1 will be 10. So these are broken up into something we like to call tenths. So this right here would be 0.1. The next line over would be 0.2. Next one over, 0.3, and so on. So that would be 0.4. This middle one would be 0.5. Then it goes to 0.6, 0.7. I'll write down 0.8 for you to see, 0.9, and finally to 1.0, which is the same thing as 1. Now, looking at this, if we can zoom in to this spot right here and look at these tenths of numbers, now let's just look at this section from 0 to 0.5. We'll zoom in on this. So between 0 and 0.5 we know 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4. But if we were to look at this between 0 and 0.1, we can break that up into 10 again. So it'd be 0.01, 0.02, 0.03, 0.04, 0.05, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, and then from 0.9 we would do 0.10. So that first mark would be 0.01, and it would go all the way up to the 0.10, which is this point right here. Now if we were to zoom in again, we could break this up even further and get numbers smaller than that, 0.001, 0.0001, and so on. So this first one, when we broke it up in 10, these were the tenths. The second time we broke it up, we went from the tenths to the hundredths. So this would be the hundredths place. And then from the hundredths, you would move to the thousandths, the 10,000ths, and so on. Let's say I'd give you the number 4.1. We're going to look at where that would fall on the number line, and we're going to figure out the placeholder values. So 4.1 is somewhere around 4, but it's going to be past 4 because we're 1/10 greater than 4. So if this was broken up in 10 little pieces, 4.1 would lie right there. This would be 4.5, and that would be 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, and so on. So in the tens place, we do not have anything. There is nothing in front of that 4, so it's just 0. Ones, that is our 4. Then there's the decimal point, which we can see right there. After the decimal point comes your tenths. And this was 4 and 1/10, so the tenths place is just 1. There's nothing in the hundredths place and nothing in the thousandths place, so those are both 0. Now let's say I give you 2.36. Looking at the number line, we know that 2.36 is going to fall between 2 and 3. So we're going to go 3/10 over, so it would be 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and there's 600ths as well, which is hard to plot accurately on a number line this small, but you would just go over 1 100th, 2 100th, you would just go over 100th, 200th, 300th, 400th, 500th, 600th. So it would fall between 2.3 and 2.4. So 2.36 or 2 and 3600ths would be right there on the number line. Now again, our tens place, there's nothing. So it's going to be 0. And our ones place, we have 2. Then comes the decimal point. After that is our tenths place. So we have 3/10, and we have 600ths, and there's nothing in our thousandths place, so that would be 0 thousandths. So 2 and 3600ths would be our decimal. When you read a decimal, you state the whole number, and the decimal point stands for an and then wherever your smallest placeholder is or place value is, you use that label. So I know this is tenths, but I'm not going to say 2 and 3/10 and 600ths. I'm going to say 2 and 3600ths. So if I had a 1 over here in the thousandths place, I would say 2 and 361 thousandths. And that would be how you read it. Let's say I give you 45 and 889 thousandths. We're going to see that our 4 is in our tens place now. Our 5 is in our ones place. Here's the decimal point, so there's our and. 8 falls in our tenths place. Another 8 falls in our hundredths place. And 9 falls in our thousandths place. So something interesting to note is when we were looking at our original number lines, we were breaking them down into 10. Each step we got smaller, we broke it up into 10. And that's how a decimal works. Say I have a number 1.2. If I multiply it by 10, I'm going to go to 12.0. So I'm just taking the decimal and moving it over one space. Now let's say I take that 12.0 and I multiply that 12.0 by 10. Again, I'm just taking this decimal and moving it to the right. So now, in this case, it's going to be 120.0. We're just holding that as a place value so you can see as it moves. Let's go the other way. Let's say that we have 1.2 or 1 2/10 and we divide it by 10. If we divide it by 10, we're taking this decimal and we're moving it to the left. So we're getting smaller as we divide. So now our number is going to be 0.12 or 1200ths. Now let's divide it by another 10. Now we're taking this decimal and moving it over again. So now we're going to have 0.012 or 12 thousandths. So when you multiply by 10, you move the decimal to the right one space. When you divide by 10, you move it to the left one space.